By the late 1990s, Bon Jovi had vanished from the top of the charts. Trends had shifted, and many believed their stadium rock era was over. Then, in the year 2000, a single song roared onto the airwaves and proved everyone wrong. "It's My Life" became a rallying cry for two generations, reviving their career and redefining their legacy. This is how one track brought Bon Jovi back from the edge and made them legends all over again. By the mid-90s, Bon Jovi's chart dominance had slowed dramatically. Grunge and alternative rock ruled radio playlists, and the glossy arena anthems that had once defined their sound felt out of place in the stripped-down, introspective mood of the era. The big choruses and high-energy optimism of the 80s had given way to darker, moodier styles. Their tours still pulled impressive crowds, but the cultural momentum had shifted. They could fill stadiums in some markets, yet their newer songs struggled to capture the same widespread attention that classics like "Livin' on a Prayer" once commanded. For the first time since their early days, they were reacting to the industry instead of leading it. The release of These Days in 1995 reflected this changing dynamic. Critics praised its mature songwriting, and it performed well in Europe and Japan, but in the United States, it fell short of their previous commercial peaks. For a band used to multi-platinum dominance at home, this was a wake-up call. Inside the band, there was no collapse, but there was a growing awareness that something had to change. Jon Bon Jovi was splitting his focus between music and acting, appearing in films like Moonlight and Valentino, while Richie Sambora experimented with solo work. The creative energy that had once been fully united was now spread thin, and their forward drive had lost some of its edge. Meanwhile, the charts were filled with new names and sounds. Pop acts like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, hip-hop artists, and new metal bands were setting the trends, and Bon Jovi's style risked being labeled as a relic of another decade. They needed to evolve without alienating the audience that had built their empire. Recognizing the challenge, the band eased back from relentless touring to focus on writing. Jon and Richie understood that their next record couldn't be just another album. It had to be a statement, one that proved they could still create music that mattered in the new millennium. This was about survival at the top level of the industry. Behind closed doors, conversations turned toward finding a sound that could cut through the noise of a rapidly changing music scene. They didn't yet have the song, but the hunger for a bold new chapter was growing, and the foundations of a comeback were quietly being laid. When the writing process for a new album began, Jon Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora knew they had to think differently. They reached out to Swedish songwriter Max Martin, a hitmaker known for crafting some of the biggest pop songs of the era, to inject a fresh sensibility into their sound. The goal was to bridge generations without losing the band's identity. The early sessions were a mix of exploration and discipline. Jon was determined to write lyrics that would resonate with teenagers discovering the band for the first time, as well as with fans who had been there since the 80s. He wanted the words to feel both deeply personal and universally empowering, and he was adamant that the chorus had to be unforgettable. Richie brought his signature guitar style into the equation, but with a twist. He dusted off the talkbox, a tool that had become one of the band's trademarks in songs like "Livin' on a Prayer," and reimagined it for a more aggressive, modern sound. This gave the developing track a unique fingerprint that was instantly recognizable. Max Martin pushed them to sharpen every element. There was no tolerance for filler. Each lyric, riff, and chord change had to serve the song's momentum, and every section needed to build toward maximum impact. This approach created a lean, direct structure, perfect for radio and live performance. The breakthrough came when Jon landed on the phrase, "It's my life, it's now or never." Those words became the emotional core of the track, distilling a message of urgency, ownership, and defiance into one line. From that moment, the creative path was locked in. The recording sessions captured a rare spark. Richie's guitar tone cut through with clarity and attitude. The rhythm section provided a rock-solid backbone, and John's vocal performance carried conviction. There was an unspoken sense in the studio that they were making more than just another single, and each take built confidence that this could be a defining song. When the demo was complete, everyone involved could feel it. It's My Life was not just another track in the setlist, it was a mission statement, and its timing at the dawn of a new millennium made it even more powerful.
It's my life.
When It's My Life finally came together in the studio, the band could feel its weight immediately. Richie Sambora's talkbox intro didn't just nod to their past, it cut through with a signature bite that blended nostalgia with a fresh, aggressive edge, while Jon Bon Jovi's vocals carried a conviction sharpened by years of proving himself all over again. The rhythm section gave the song its heartbeat. Tico Torres's drumming was tight and explosive, striking with precision but never losing feel, while Hugh McDonald's bass line locked into the groove like steel. Every beat and note was aimed at forward momentum, and there was not a wasted sound anywhere in the mix. John's lyrics elevated the track beyond pure rock energy. It's my life, it's now or never was, not just another hook. It distilled the urgency of living on your own terms into one unforgettable line, something both teenagers and longtime fans could carry with them. That universality was the song's secret weapon. The arrangement was built for a stadium. Richie's solo roared with clarity, the choruses surged like tidal waves, and each verse set up another leap in intensity. Even in the confines of a control room, the song felt built for tens of thousands of voices. It was an anthem before it even left the studio. Producer Max Martin's touch kept the track lean and explosive. His pop instinct ensured a structure that hit hard without dragging, while the band's rock identity gave it grit. This combination gave It's My Life rare crossover potential, making it equally at home on rock radio and top 40 playlists. When Island Records executives heard the final mix, they immediately recognized its hit potential. The single was prioritized for a major promotional push, complete with coordinated radio, press, and video rollouts. Bon Jovi had one shot to prove they were still a global act, and this was it. By its release in May 2000, momentum had already started. Advance airplay fueled curiosity, and the first week brought heavy rotation across rock and pop stations alike, setting the stage for a rapid climb in the charts. The comeback wasn't just brewing, it was underway. When a song feels unstoppable, how do you know it's the one? The band knew It's My Life needed a visual counterpart as bold as the song itself. They turned to Wayne Isham, a director who had already shaped some of Bon Jovi's most memorable videos, to craft something that could hit home with both the MTV generation and their loyal base. The vision was to create a short, fast-paced film that mirrored the track's defiant spirit. The concept followed a young man racing through an urban landscape to reach a Bon Jovi concert. He dodges traffic, jumps fences, and barrels through obstacles, his determination echoing the song's message. The physical chase became a metaphor for the urgency in the lyrics, giving the anthem a visual heartbeat. Every frame carried momentum. Cut between this cinematic sprint were shots of the band on stage, drenched in sweat, under piercing lights, and locked into their performance. These scenes reminded viewers that Bon Jovi remained a live powerhouse, still commanding a stage with the same fire as in their prime. It framed It's My Life as more than a radio single, it was a live event waiting to happen. Isham's editing matched the music's pulse. Fast cuts, sudden angle changes, and a constantly moving camera created a sense of unstoppable forward motion, reinforcing the urgency that defined both the video and the track. This wasn't a nostalgia reel, it was proof of present-day relevance. The premiere on MTV was a turning point. The network put the video into heavy rotation, introducing Bon Jovi to a younger audience that had barely known their earlier work, while reaffirming their energy to fans from decades past. It was the bridge the band had needed to connect the generations. Early online sharing extended its reach beyond traditional media. Platforms in their infancy allowed the video to spread internationally with a speed no previous Bon Jovi release had achieved, keeping the song in constant circulation. It marked one of the band's first true global hits of the digital era. By the end of the campaign, the video was inseparable from the song's identity. The final image of the fan bursting into the concert summed up the song's urgency in one frame, and Bon Jovi had placed themselves firmly back in the heart of the rock conversation. When It's My Life reached its full momentum on the charts, it became more than just another successful single. It was a cultural statement that reintroduced Bon Jovi to a global audience, proving that their sound could thrive in the 21st century. Within weeks of release, the track was in heavy rotation across radio stations on multiple continents, breaking through genre and generational barriers. In the United States, it rose quickly on both rock and pop charts, a rare dual achievement for a band whose career began in the early 80s. The single re-established their relevance in a competitive market dominated by pop stars and nu metal bands, and its chart performance signaled that Bon Jovi could stand alongside the biggest acts of the new millennium. Across Europe, the impact was even more striking. It's My Life reached the top 10 in countries like the United Kingdom, Germany, and Italy, and in places such as Germany and the Netherlands, it became one of their highest-selling singles of all time. The song's presence on international charts lasted for months, sustaining momentum long after its initial release. The universality of the message fueled its global appeal. From massive outdoor shows in Tokyo to sold-out nights in Buenos Aires, crowds chanted the chorus in perfect unison, transforming each performance into a shared declaration of independence, while younger fans embraced it as their own generational anthem. The line between past and present dissolved in those moments, uniting decades of listeners under the same hook. It's My Life also triggered a surge in their touring power. The Crush Tour, launched in 2000, filled arenas and stadiums across North America, Europe, Asia, and South America. The tour restored Bon Jovi's status as one of the few rock acts capable of commanding massive global stages, and it solidified their reputation as one of the most resilient and adaptive bands in modern rock history. The song's cultural presence only grew in the years that followed. It became a fixture in sporting events, from football stadiums to Olympic ceremonies, and appeared in films, television series, and commercials. Its adaptability to different contexts kept it in constant circulation, and its message ensured it resonated far beyond traditional rock audiences. For Bon Jovi, the success was as personal as it was professional. It's My Life validated their ability to evolve without sacrificing identity, turning what could have been a late career single into a defining creative peak, and proving that longevity is built on reinvention as much as legacy. Decades later, its opening talkbox riff still sparks an instant wave of recognition, and the song remains a permanent highlight of their set list, not just as a hit, but as a cornerstone of the band's story. Long after its release, It's My Life took on a life of its own. It moved beyond the confines of Bon Jovi's discography, becoming an anthem embraced by people and communities far removed from the rock scene, and earning a place in pop culture as a universal symbol of resilience. Cover versions began to appear almost immediately. From school choirs to global talent shows, the song was reinterpreted in countless styles, proving its core message could survive any arrangement. This adaptability kept it fresh for audiences who might never attend a Bon Jovi concert. Its influence reached into unexpected places. Athletes used it as pre-game motivation. Protest groups adopted its chorus as a chant, and motivational speakers incorporated it into their events. The phrase, "It's My Life," became shorthand for taking control, and its presence in these spaces gave the song renewed meaning over time. The track also inspired younger musicians. Bands and solo artists cited it as proof that a veteran act could reinvent itself without abandoning its roots. It became a case study in career longevity, with industry publications pointing to its strategic release and marketing. The song's success was as much about timing and positioning as it was about melody. Digital platforms amplified its reach even further. In the streaming era, It's My Life found a second wave of popularity through playlists and viral clips, often detached from its original album context. New listeners discovered it without any prior connection to Bon Jovi's history. For the band, this extended lifespan influenced future creative choices. The experience of seeing a single song reignite their global career reinforced the importance of writing music with both immediacy and endurance, and shaped the anthemic style of their later releases. Today, It's My Life is more than a fan favorite, it's a cultural artifact. Its ability to exist in multiple eras, media, and interpretations has secured its place beyond the touring cycle, and its echo continues to inspire long after the amplifiers go quiet. From fading relevance in the late 1990s to commanding global stages in the new millennium, Bon Jovi's rebirth through It's My Life remains one of rock's greatest comebacks. It was more than a hit, it became a statement of survival, bridging generations and reigniting their legacy. 2 decades later, the song still sparks instant recognition, its opening riff pulling crowds to their feet in seconds. If this ride through their revival inspired you, subscribe and join us for more stories that change music forever.